guys, this is Lindsay from Booked and Busy. No. One more sip of coffee, then I'm gonna get it. It's gone. Hey guys, this is Lindsay from She is Booked and Busy. I just wanted to stop in because I want to get real with you. I have been in the worst book slump of my entire life, and I'm not being dramatic at all. I don't think I have ever had this much trouble reading. It's always kind of what I've done. And I still read, I believe it was like 5 or 6 books in the month of April, so anytime you read one book, that's great. But that's just very low personally for me. It's not that I'm not reading, it's that I'm not finishing books as quickly as I usually do. So typically on average, I finish a book in like 4 days. And all month of, April, I was on track. I finished a book every 4 days. I finished a book every 4 days. My last book, which we'll talk about in our April wrap-up, which I still haven't filmed, took me 13 days. And I just struggled. And it wasn't the book. The book was perfectly fine. It was me. I just was very distractible. I couldn't sit down and focus. I would sit down and instead of reading 4 chapters, I'd read 4 pages. So I've been sitting here and I've been thinking to myself, I really need to get myself out of this. I need to pull myself out of this. How am I going to do that? And whenever I'm in a book slump, I go to my comfort genre, which is romantasy. I decided that I was going to pick up the last Sarah J. Maas book in the ACOTAR series, which was A Court of Silver Flames. I had been putting this off because once I'm done with this, I'm through the ACOTAR series that's already been released. And the thought of not being in Valaris or this world in general makes me so sad. So I've been intentionally reading this series leisurely. I've been taking my time. I haven't been rushing through it. And this has been sitting on my shelves. And I've been putting it off because this is it. Once I'm done with this, I'm out of Valaris for a while until the next book comes out. And I just wasn't ready for it. But I'm slumping. And the ACOTAR series and Sarah J. Maas never fails to get me out of a slump. However, my slump was still slumping. Not in that I wasn't enjoying this book, because I'm eating this up. It's so good. But I just was having trouble getting through the pages. Like I said, normally sit down and I could tear through 100 pages of this book, no problem. And I was having trouble getting through 40 pages. So, without getting distracted. So, here's the plan. I think I'm going to challenge myself this week to read 200 pages per day. I'm just going to sit down in the morning, look at where I'm at, where do I have to be at the end of the day, and I'm just going to do it. And I'm telling you right now, by the time I get through Sarah J. Maas and maybe a couple other books, depending on how quickly I read, I'm going to be out of my slump. We're going to figure it out. So, this is reading 200 pages a day for an entire week. Let's get it. Okay, so currently I am on, show you this, chapter 12, which is page 133, and according to Goodreads, that is about 17% of the way through the book. And if you want to follow me on Goodreads, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to link my account down below so you can go ahead and give me a follow. But I'm apparently 17% of the way through this book. If I'm on page, I already forgot what page I said, 133, that means that I'm going to have to end this day on 333. So it is currently 9:10 in the morning. I do have some stuff to do today. Today is the Zelda Nintendo Switch. I don't even remember what it's called because I don't play it. Zelda, let's look it up. Legends of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom for the Nintendo Switch. It is release day, and I am not a video game person. I mean, I dabble in The Sims, but I am not a video game person. However, my husband and both my boys are, and they pre-ordered it. And my two boys are in school. My husband is sleeping, and deserves the right to sleep in today because he works so hard. So I have been tasked to run to West Hartford and pick it up from Best Buy. So I'm going to sit down right now. Best Buy doesn't open till 10 anyways. I am about 45 minutes away. So I'm going to sit down for a little while and read and kind of make some progress, but I'm going to take you with me throughout the day, and let's see if we can get 200 pages done in A Court of Silver Flames today. Okay, so I officially secured the Legends of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. So that is officially secured. However, I am now 45 minutes from home, and I picked up the boys' game. And about 10 minutes that away, there's a Barnes & Noble in a place called Blueback Square. It's a really, really, really nice shopping plaza here in Connecticut. There is a outdoor shopping plaza called Blueback Square that has a Barnes & Noble that I literally never go to, but it's so good. And I love this Barnes & Noble because they carry a lot of indie authors that my local Barnes & Noble doesn't carry. And it's currently 10:15 a.m. It is 77 degrees outside, and I could use like a park and walk. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just want to go park. I want to go walk Blueback Square, maybe go into like Crate and Barrel, go into Barnes & Noble, see if they have any good books that I've been looking for. Not that I need to buy any more books, but I spoiled the boys. Now let's see if I want anything. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, see you there. Take me to Barnes & Noble, West Hartford, Connecticut. Okay, so I'm looking for The Kind Worth Killing, and I can't for the life of me remember who wrote it, but let's see if they have it. Peter Swanson. Okay, so I found the Peter Swanson section, but it's not here. But the app says it's available, which means it's somewhere on a table. So we're gonna go sniff it out. Found it. Okay, so the lighting kind of sucks in here because we are in a parking garage. I turned on my overhead lights. I don't think that really did anything, but we did do a little damage at Barnes & Noble. So I figured I'd show you really quick what I got, and then I'm gonna tell you where we're gonna go next. You're getting a front row view for why I don't get a ton of reading done during the day, because although it's quiet at my house, my husband's either at work or he's sleeping or my kids are at school. Although it's quiet, I get super distracted. I have things to do. So let's go through what I got at Barnes & Noble, and then we'll move on to our next destination. So the first book shouldn't come as a shock. It caused quite the upheaval in there because I have managed to find the one book at Barnes & Noble that they had lost track of. They showed on their computer that it was in stock and that they had several, but they couldn't figure out where it was. And it wasn't in the Peter Swanson section of the thrillers and mystery section. So we did find it. It was actually in a staff favorites pile, which is super promising. But this is The Kind Worth Killing by Peter Swanson. The second one, which is called The Kind Worth Saving, just came out. I heard it took him like years to come out with it. I've heard this is really, really good. So it says, on a flight from London to Boston, Ted Severinsen meets the stunning Lily Kintner. Over martinis, the strangers play a game in which they reveal intimate details about themselves. Ted talks about his wife Miranda, how their marriage has gone stale, how a week ago he caught her in a stunning betrayal. But what begins as playful banter between Ted and Lily takes a swift turn when Ted claims, half seriously, that he would like to kill his wife. Then Lily surprises him by saying that she'd like to help. So I've heard it's pretty good, so I got to pick that up. The next book I got was 7 Days in June by Tia Williams. I've seen this kind of all over BookTube and Bookstagram. From what I understand, it's about a couple that meets and spends, is it 7 days together? I don't know. I've heard it's really, really good. The cover is absolutely stunning. I'm not a gigantic fan typically of real people on covers, but this is done in a very like artistic, very aesthetic, appealing way. It's not just like this broody, creepy man just like staring deeply into your soul, which always kind of gives me the ick. It cringes me out. This is done in a really pretty way. So it says, 7 days to fall in love, 15 years to forget, and 7 days to get it all back again. Eva Mercy is a single mom and best-selling erotica writer who is feeling pressed from all sides. Shane Hall is a reclusive, award-winning novelist who, to everyone's surprise, shows up in New York. When Shane and Eva meet unexpectedly at a black literary event, sparks fly. But what no one knows is that 15 years earlier, teenage Eva and Shane spent one crazy, torrid week madly in love and had been secretly writing to each other in their books ever since. I remember this. They're both writers. It's like coming back to me. They're both writers and they write books, but what they don't realize is that they're, I think, unintentionally writing their story about each other, and then they meet back up. And I think this is the book where there's this famous line where he's like, "Stop writing about me," and she's like, "You first." So I'm looking forward to that. Guys, I definitely developed a little cold, so my voice is a little strange today. Okay. So this next book I got, I'm really excited about. I picked up 28 Summers by, I've always said Elin Hildebrand, but I'm hearing lately that it's Ellen. So I'm going to say Ellen, but tell me in the comments below if I have to switch back to Elin. How do you pronounce her name? Anyways, Ellen Hildebrand. I picked up 28 Summers by Ellen Hildebrand. I picked this up because I was recently watching a Destiny Sidwell video, and she talked about how this is like one of her quintessential summer reads, that this is like a great beach read. Everyone should read this in the summer. And she said that this is the
they meet every single summer for, 28 summers trope done right. It's not repetitive, it's not boring, it's, so I've heard really good things about this, but I think that's basically the gist of this, that these two come together every single summer for 28 summers and it's their love story. I've actually never read an Ellen Hilderbrand book. I think I have one or two on my shelves not in my reading room, but in another room in my house. I have another shelf full of books that I've had forever and have kind of never picked up. I'm pretty sure I have at least one Ellen Hilderbrand book down there, but I've never read it. So I'm hoping to get into this because I've heard it's good. So. And last but not least, I am so excited about this book because it's going to push me out of my comfort zone. I've heard amazing things about it. Like I've heard people who hate science fiction are dreading picking up this book, and then they pick up this book and they're like, this was life-changing. Like this has changed their entire opinion on the genre, because I'm not a science fiction reader. So I picked up Red Rising by Pierce Brown. I've heard this book is a combination of Hunger Games and Game of Thrones in space. So I was going to say if you can imagine that, but I don't know that I can imagine that. Game of Thrones, which is one of my favorite things ever, and Hunger Games taking place in outer space. So I've heard amazing things. It says, his wife taken, his people enslaved, driven by a longing for justice and the memory of lost love, Darrow will stop at nothing to bring down his enemies, even if he must become one of them to do so. For the first time, Red will rise. So I'm really excited. And also, here's what I'm also seeing about this. This right here is a relatively short book. It is 382, I think. Yeah, 382 pages, which for the sci-fi fantasy genre, that's a pretty short book. So I'm really excited. I think this could go possibly quickly, and I've heard really great things. So those were the four. Oh God, I'm dropping everything. Those were the 4 books that I picked up today. And now what we're going to do, I'm going to drive back closer to home, and I am craving. There's this Portuguese bakery about 15 minutes, 20 minutes from my house. And I am craving. They make the most amazing Portuguese custard cups. And I have been craving them so bad. They've literally been all that's going through my mind. So I think we're going to stop at the Portuguese bakery. I think we're going to pick up a couple of Portuguese custard cups, maybe some Portuguese bread, and do some really good sandwiches for lunch today. Although I have risotto out. I don't know. So that's the next thing we're going to do. We're going to go to the Portuguese bakery and then go home and continue reading. All right, bye. Secured the bag. All right, let's go home.
Hey guys, so it is officially Saturday morning. I finished baseball last night, came home, cooked dinner, and sat down with my kids and my husband and passed out. In true Lindsay fashion, I failed on day one. Day one. I did not read 200 pages yesterday. I read, let's see, from 133 to chapter 21, which is page 231. So I read 98 pages yesterday. I mean, that's still not bad. That's still not bad. And here's my thing. Remember, I don't know if you remember, but I told you yesterday my average is about 4 days per book. In an average length size book, that would still put me finishing in 4 days. So that's, I think, about average for me. So that's not bad, but I did fail the challenge. And now the question I'm asking myself is, do I do 200 today? Or do I try to add the extra 102 pages to today too to finish out the week with 200 pages a day? I have a really busy day of baseball today. Let's see how today goes. We're going to see how today goes, but I'm still making my way on A Court of Silver Flames. I think I'm going to sit down and read a little bit before I get out of my PJs, get all showered up and ready for the day. So I'm going to go sit down and read for a little bit. Okay, so good morning, guys. It is officially Monday morning, and full disclosure, I totally forgot this week was Mother's Day. So this was a bad week to start this challenge, but we are going to power through. So Saturday night and into most of the day yesterday, I did very little reading, which is okay. I was enjoying with my family. I had a great day. If you want to see a little bit about what we did, I posted a little montage, a little bit of a post about what we did on my Instagram. So I will link that down below, and I will also put my username up here on the screen if you want to find me. But we had a very exciting, like Saturday night into all day yesterday. So I didn't do too much reading, but I did do some. Like I'm super behind. To be real, but I'm not that behind. So I'm about to start my reading for today. I do have to do a little bit of work today, but I think that I should be able to make up some ground today. So I'm going to sit back, I have my coffee, and I'm going to do about an hour of reading now. And then I do have to jump into like my other work. So I am going to get a little done now, but let's see how much we can actually salvage this challenge. I have faith. Okay, before we get started, I just wanted to kind of pop back on here. If you are somebody like me who has trouble like getting distracted, I have this cute little app on my phone. It's called the Flora app. I believe it's totally free. I don't think I paid for it, but it's so cute. It looks like this. I don't know if you can see it. It looks like that. And basically, you take this little seed and you plant it into the ground. And right now I have it set to have me focus for 25 minutes and then take a 5-minute break. You can set it for more. But that kind of helps me. I think I might actually do this one a little longer. I think I might actually have this do focus for 45 minutes. So I think I'm going to go ahead and check that. 45 minutes. There you go. So I'm going to focus for 45 minutes. And what basically happens is if you touch your phone during the time that you have your seed planted, if you break your focus, it kills your plant. And I don't actually know why this motivates me, but it does, because I just desperately don't want to kill this little fake iPhone tree. So there you go. If you have trouble focusing, it's the Flora app on iPhone. Okay, so let's talk about what kind of progress I did make. So we are on day 3. We started this challenge on Friday, and on Friday I read from page 133 to page 231. So I totaled 98 pages. On Saturday, I read from page 231 to page 313, so I read 82 pages. And yesterday, despite it being Mother's Day, despite being out of the state, despite having almost 3 hours of train rides total, I managed to read from page 313 to page 395. So I read 82 pages. So am I killing the 200-page challenge a day? No, not even close, not even scraping halfway. But am I still proud of the progress I'm making? Am I certainly reading more? And do I feel myself slowly coming out of the slump I was in? Yes, and that was the original goal of this video, to kind of get me out of this slump. So I'm proud of what I did. I really want to get to 200 one day. The problem is, like, real life happens, and it just it's not always conducive to 200 pages a day, but I'm trying, I'm reading, and I'm getting out of my slump. So I'm trying to tell myself I'm not failing. It's fine. So, all right, back to reading. So it is now, I don't even know, 9:40 at night on Monday night. My kids and I just walked in the door from baseball. It's another long baseball night. So I'm going to get them all settled in, and then I think I'm going to get some reading done. I actually had a solid reading day today. I still don't think I'm going to hit 200, but I think today is going to be the closest I get. I don't know, I might. I guess I should be positive, but I am going to get them all settled away, and then I'm going to get some more hours of reading in, and let's see how close I can get. Okay, hello from Tuesday. So I made some good progress in the book yesterday. I didn't film. I was exhausted. I had a long day at the baseball field, but I made some good progress. And I realized last night that I hadn't updated you guys. I'm giving you like the totals, but I hadn't updated you on where I was at. So we have not yet hit the challenge of 200 pages a day. But on Friday, the day we started, I read from page 133 to 231 for 98 pages. On Saturday, I read from 231 to 313 for 82 pages. On Sunday, I read from 313 to 395 for another 82 pages. And yesterday, I read from 395 to page 540 in A Court of Silver Flames. So I read 145 pages. Am I bummed that I comparatively got that close and didn't hit 200? Yeah, kind of. But I was also literally nodding off in my chair. I was so exhausted. I'd been in the sun for hours, so it just wasn't happening. But today, I took the entire day off, and I am going to spend it reading. If there is going to be a day where I might be able to hit 200, I think today might be it. So it's a beautiful day out. It's a little chilly. It's in the morning, but it's a beautiful day out today here in Connecticut, and I think I might take my book, go out onto the porch, read in the sun for a little bit, and see how much damage I could do. So I'll take you with me. update. It is Tuesday night, and I officially finished A Court of Silver Flames. I finished the entire book, which is gorgeous, and then this is the Barnes & Noble special edition, which means it came with a exclusive chapter at the end, and I finished that as well, which means that today I read from page 540 to 760. 220 pages so far. I did it, at least for today. All the other days were failures, but you have to celebrate life's little victories. And not only did I finish A Court of Silver Flames, which I'm honestly like, the point of this video was to get me out of a book slump, and I feel like this did it. Like, I feel like I'm out of it. I'm excited to read again. I'm looking forward to reading again. I'm absorbing. I'm focusing. This was a chunker. She's a big, big girl. With the extra chapter, what did I say? 760 pages? Yeah, 760 pages. She's a big, big, thick girl. And I'm so excited. I ate up every single second of it. This is 5 stars. So I can't get into the premise too much because you have to read the ACOTAR series and start with A Court of Thorns and Roses. But basically, if you're unfamiliar, it started out as Beauty and the Beast retelling, and it's developed into a series since then. And that's all I'm going to say because these books are so good. The fact that someone on this planet exists and her name is Sarah Janet and her brain works the way it works to write pieces of art like this, it's mind blowing. Her character development is perfect. Her action is perfect. Her pacing is perfect. Her prose is perfect. They're beautifully, beautifully written books. The story is fantastic. This book is my comfort series. These books, I should say, are my comfort series. I wish I could live in Valaris, and that's all I'm going to say. So it was great. 5 stars. So now the question becomes, where do I go from here? Let's see. I started on Friday. Today is Tuesday. So there's still several days to go. If you've read the ACOTAR series, you know they're a bit intense. So I don't want to jump right into something too intense because I feel like that would put me back into a slump, which totally defeats the purpose. So I think I want to go into something lighthearted. I'm staring at my bookcase. I currently have a video that I'm working on for June. And because of some of the books that I already know are going to end up going into June, I think I'm still kind of riding my fantasy high. So I think I'm still sticking to fantasy. And what I immediately kind of went for is Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree. This is a cozy, low intensity, low stakes fantasy. So I think after something kind of big and thick and crazy like ACOTAR, the ACOTAR series and A Court of Silver Flames, I think I kind of want to like nourish my and listen to my fantasy calling, but not do something so intense that it's going to turn me around and put me back into a slump or something that I feel like I can't get into because I'm still so stuck on A Court of Silver Flames. So I think I can get into this. And the other thing is, the writing is pretty big and it's only, 250-ish pages. So I feel like this could be a really cute, really quick, low stakes read that could suck me in and stay in with my fantasy. So I think I'm going to be going into this. And now the question is, I read 220 today. Do I go right into it or do I pick it back up tomorrow morning? Well, let's do this. Let's see how many pages I'm actually behind. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. That's 5 days we've been doing this. If I was actually reading 200 pages a day, I would have been 1,000 pages in. Let's see how many pages in I am. Okay, I am 627 pages in. Oh my God. Okay. So that means I am 373 pages behind. I don't know that there's any coming back from that. However, That's literally more than this entire book. I think I might start this tonight. Maybe. I don't know. If I do, I'll certainly throw the camera on and let you know, but I'm really excited to get into it. Guys, I think this is the first time I'm actually popping in. It is now Wednesday, and we're gonna have an audience snacking. The one and only Mr. MC of Mr. MC and Icebreaker, right?
I'm getting paid for this, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I've been kind of reading all day off camera, but
What?
what did you just do?
Nothing.
Replay
it.
But I had a couple of packages get delivered, so I opened 2 out of the 3 of them, and then I realized I should probably do it with you guys so you could see what I got, because it's all book mail. So the first thing that I got is Kiss the Sky by Becca and Krista and Becca Ritchie. This is the 4th in the Addicted Calloway series, and I believe this is Rose and Connor's story. I haven't yet made my way into that series, so I don't know too much about it, so I'm not going to give you a summary, but I did get this. I know they just did redesign all of the covers of the books, so I wanted to make sure I waited to get the series until all the covers matched. So this is the 4th of the series. So the next one that I got, I'm very excited about. This is actually the special edition in the Lives of Puppets. This is the Fairy Loot edition by TJ Klune. I do have his first 2 books, which are by, I believe it's By the Cerulean Sea or Under the Cerulean Sea. And no, it's Under the Whispering Door and By the Cerulean Sea. This is his 3rd book in the Lives of Puppets. I do have the Barnes and Noble edition, but this one just was released by Fairy Loot, and I literally fell in love with it because I think it's so beautiful. I'm going to give you a close-up look with the sprayed edges. And it also comes with the artwork on the insides of the covers, as well as some exclusive artwork within the series. And it is a signed edition by TJ Klune. So that's pretty cool. So I did get this one because I just really loved this limited edition series. And once it's gone, it's gone. It's not going to be available anymore. So I wanted to make sure I grabbed one. So it's the Fairy Loot edition of In the Lives of Puppets. All right, so I'm so excited about this, and I actually completely forgot I pre-ordered this. I'm so glad that this came in because I was actually about to run to Barnes & Noble and pick it up today because I wanted it. This is The True Love Experiment. This is Christina Lauren's new book. For everyone that doesn't know, Christina Lauren is actually 2 people. It's a set of best friends, Christina and Lauren, and they write books together. I actually have been meaning to read their book, Love in Other Words, which is like a cult favorite. And I've heard it's just fantastic, so I wanted to grab this one as well. I believe this is about, I believe the main character is a romance novelist. And I believe the male main character, like who I'm assuming is going to be the love interest, I think he's a filmmaker. I think he does documentaries, and somehow I think through the film process they ended up getting together. I don't know, that's just a guess, but I'm really excited to read this because I've heard really, really great things about their writing. So The True Love Experience, I do think this is the Barnes & Noble exclusive. It says includes special content. So usually that means it comes with like an additional chapter or something, but I don't know. I might have to put this as one of my next reads, but those are the 3 books I got, and we're going back to reading now. Does anybody else's kid try to get in their footage and mess it up?
You need to buy me more ice cream and then
I think you need less ice cream.
No. Mr. Einstein Icebreaker. Follow us on YouTube right there, Rumble or Pixel Art here, and here. And then you're officially a good person.
Hey guys, so long time no talk. It is now Thursday at 5:56 p.m. I have not recorded, and full disclosure, I also have not read today. I had a crazy busy day with work, kid stuff, and then I don't know if you could tell in my voice, but I also have developed a little bit of a cold. So I've been a little under the weather today. So I've rested, I've worked, I ran the kids around. The kids had a half day at school. So today, full disclosure, like being totally real with you, today got away with me. However, yesterday I did read up to page 197. And that was an intentional choice. I hate stopping between chapters. So I got to a point where there was a break in the page and I just chose to stop because I had to go somewhere and there was like not another break in the page till like 2:06 or something. So I made the intentional decision to stop at 197, but I only have like, I think like 50 pages left. So I'm definitely going to finish this tonight at 6 o'clock with the baseball game still to go to. I'm actually late for it. I have to leave. And run there. I don't think I'm going to make my 200, but we don't know. We're going to finish this tonight and we're going to move on. So let's go to the baseball game. I am back much later on Thursday night, but I have a really cool update. I did finish Legends and Latte. So I read 57 pages tonight, finished this book. Admittedly, I'm probably done for the night because I don't know if you can tell, but I'm exhausted. I do have a little cold. It's kicking my butt a little bit right now. I'm fine. I have a stuffy nose and just feeling a little under the weather. So I think I'm allowing myself to fail today, which I feel like has been the overwhelming theme of this video, but I think I'm going to allow myself to fail today. I'm going to know my limits. I'm going to let my body get some rest. However, I do kind of want to pick what we're going to start tomorrow morning. So here's what I'm thinking. I do not want to get involved in any major series. I'm looking at my bookshelf. I think we'll take a walk over there in a second, but I don't want to get involved in any like major big series. I kind of want to just pick something off my bookshelf that's a little simple. And I don't know why, but I just read 2 fantasies in a row. So I'm thinking maybe a romance or a mystery thriller. But let's take a walk over to my bookshelf and see what we have. Okay, so the way that my bookshelf is organized, I have fantasy on the first 2.5-ish shelves. Then starts my romance section that goes all the way down. Then in this separate bookshelf, I have mysteries and thrillers. These are all special editions up here that I just have to sort. But I have mystery thrillers in here. So if we're looking again, I don't think I'm taking on Olivia Blake tomorrow. I don't want to get into the Prison Healer series. Let's look. Oh, maybe House of Salt and Sorrows. But once again, we would be going into a fantasy. I don't know if I want to do 3 fantasies this week. So if we kind of just skip over these, don't want to get involved in a big series. Let's see. I think I do kind of have my brain made up. Ooh, but Lightlark. I do think I'm gonna... No, we're gonna keep Lightlark as a possibility. Okay, let's go down here and see. United Kingdom I might have been able to get into. Let's see. Maybe I do like a little lighthearted romance, like a tweet cute. We could probably do that. Or maybe like a Tessa Bailey, like a fixer-up, hook, line, and sinker. Do I take on my first Sarah Adams? Do I take on my first? I did just get, it's not here. It's over on my desk, but I did just get The Friend Zone, which, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I believe The Friend Zone is the one that you're supposed to read before Life's Too Short, I believe. So I could take on The Friend Zone as a cute little romance. I could do a cute little like Colleen Hoover, like a light Colleen Hoover. Oh boy, there are so many options, guys. Maybe I could do do I do Ice Planet Barbarians? Maybe. I love how I just said I don't want to get involved in a big series, and I'm looking at Ice Planet Barbarians, which is literally like one of the largest series I've ever seen. I believe this is up to like 21 bucks now. Or maybe a little romantic comedy. I don't know. Geez, this is tough. This is the toughest part, is just choosing a book. Maybe we go into a mystery. I could do Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney. Or do I go into Good Girl, Bad Blood? All right, let me explore this for a second and get back to you. Okay, so after all that, I took a total left turn, and I'm going to switch it up and go for none of the things I mentioned. I actually totally forgot that I got this book, and I was going through it being like, I kind of ruled out fantasy. I think I'm going to give myself a fantasy break. I was like, I don't know why, like none of my romances were hitting, and next month for the video that I have planned, I know I'm going to be reading a lot of romance. So I was like, I want to I don't want to like, put myself in a slump again with some romance. And I was looking at my thrillers, and there's a couple of my thrillers that I actually was kind of psyched to read. But then I remembered that I got Community Board by Tara Conklin. I have never read anything by this author. Can you tell it's late? I've never read anything by her, but I was really intrigued by this book in Barnes & Noble. I don't know if you could see it on the back, but for some reason, text messages and books are just my thing. Like, I just like text messaging and messages. And if you could see on the back, I think they communicate via a community board in this book. And from what I understand, we're going to read the inside sleeve, but from what I understand, I believe this is like dystopian. World is over. They've rebuilt a community, I believe. I could be totally wrong, so I think we're going to pick this up. It's relatively short. It's 257-ish pages, somewhere in there. So let's see. It says, Darcy Clipper, prodigal daughter, nearly 30, has returned home to Murbridge, Massachusetts after her life took an unwelcome left turn. Murbridge, Darcy is convinced, will welcome her home and provide a safe space in which she can nurse her wounds and harbor grudges, both real and imagined. But Murbridge, like so much else Darcy thought to be fixed and immutable, has changed. And while Darcy's first instinct might be to hole herself up in her childhood bedroom, subsisting on Chef Boyardee and canned chickpeas, it is human nature to do two things: seek out meaningful human connection and respond to anonymous internet posts. As Murbridge begins to take shape around Darcy, both online and in person, she considers the most fundamental of American questions. What can she ask of her community, and what does she owe in return? A wickedly funny, big-hearted novel, Community Board explores unplanned isolation, the dubious comforts of home, and the redemptive power of community with generosity and wit. I don't know why this has intrigued me so much. I mean, part of it is that they're speaking via messages on a community board, but it's also like, it seems funny and entertaining, and I think that's kind of what I need right now. So it is now past midnight. At this point, I'm probably not going to start the book because I'm exhausted. I want to give my body a little bit of time to rest, and hopefully I wake up tomorrow morning and I've kind of kicked the remainder of this cold. But I am going to go to sleep. I'm going to wake up tomorrow morning. It is the last day of the challenge tomorrow. And I'm kind of thinking that I can make some damage on this book. So I will see you in the morning.
Happy Friday! Okay, so today is the last day of the challenge. And although this challenge hasn't gone perfectly, we definitely haven't done $200 a day. $200. I need more coffee. Hold, please. $200 pages per day. I feel like it has hit its more immediate goal, which was to get me out of my slump, because I'm happy to report I am out of my slump. Like, I'm excited about reading again. I'm jumping from one book to the next book with like no hesitation. I'm not having trouble transitioning. So I don't actually, I'm realizing now, I don't think I was actually in a book slump. I think I was in a book hangover. And I feel like these things, listen, hear me out. Talk to me in the comments below. A book slump is when you just don't want to read. The thought of reading is dragging you down. Like, you pick up books and you're flipping through the pages and you just can't do it. You just can't get into it. You're switching books. You can't find one you want to read. That wasn't me. A book hangover is when you read a book and it's so good. It's like a 5-star read that you're hungover afterwards. You wake up the next morning and you're hungover. Like, you can't get out of that world. You just can't move on. You're hungover. Like, your brain needs a break. And I feel like that's what I was in. I was hungover from my 5-star reads that I'd been reading last month. So I just feel like I'm out of my book hangover. I'm reading. I'm loving reading. I'm really excited about reading. So today is the last day. I'm really hoping I could go out with a bang and finish out strong and read 200 pages today, but there's a couple of things that we need to do today as well. First priority, we need to take care of the claws because woof, not good. So we need to go get our nails done. I'm gonna go do that now. I have a couple of errands I have to run. Hopefully I'm gonna be home in time to get some reading done before I pick the boys up from school. You know the drill. We have baseball, we have other nonsense to do tonight. So let's get on with today. Okay. Ooh, 80s hair. 80s hair. Gotta love 80s hair. Where is my other clip? I don't know. Okay, so it has been rainy and gloomy here all day. I've got serious humidity 80s hair. It's just kind of a way of life at this point. So a couple of things have happened. Let me get it together for a second. Let's put this back on. I don't know if anybody else does this. I don't like to read with the sleeves on the book. So here's my thoughts. So I did not hit 200 for the last day. I am on page 141. So let's go ahead and update our little tracker. Where is it? Okay. Okay. So, excuse me. So,
I want to talk to you guys because, first of all, this might, I think we gotta tame the beast here for a second. Okay, let's get this together. Okay, so here are my thoughts. I am not a person who DNFs books very often. I believe I've only DNF'd one other book, or one book in general, I should say, and it was The Wedding Crasher by Mia Sosa, I think her name was. It's over on my other shelf. It just wasn't for me. Wasn't doing what I like, wasn't any topics that I like. Obnoxious, whatever. We're not even gonna get into that. I don't DNF books. I don't do it. However, this might be a DNF. I'm over halfway in, and there's nothing fundamentally wrong with the writing. I mean, there's some idiosyncrasies there. There's a little bit of stylistic choice. She has taken a page out of Sally Rooney's book in that she does not use quotation marks for dialogue. It's not, I'm kind of used to it 140 pages in. It's not like it really bothers me, but it is a little strange. I'm not sure I love the style choice of that, but you can move past it. I can move past that. And the writing itself isn't horrible. For me, if I do choose to DNF this, it's going to be 100% just like a storyline style choice that I'm not loving. So once again, 140 pages in, and I'm still trying to figure out what the necessity of this book is, like what the point of this book is. It's definitely exploring depression, for sure. But I just find the main character really unlikable. I find it kind of rambling, which might just be like a look inside of the main character's mind. Like maybe that's intentional, but I just find myself like nodding off as I read it because it's just not holding my attention. It's really slow going. With the amount of time that I sat down to read today, I should have had no problem hitting 200. And the fact that I didn't hit 200 is indicative of the fact that this just isn't the book for me. Excuse me. It's just really slow going. Sorry. It's just really slow going, not holding my attention, very rambling kind of plot point. And now in the 140 point, it's getting to this new introduction of this new plot. There you go. Forgot my other light. It's getting to this new introduction of this new plot that is, this was me while I was reading it. No ma'am. No thanks. No thank you. Just not something that I enjoy reading about. And if you've read it, I bet you could probably tell me what it is. It's just not for me. I don't think which is so disappointing because I honestly thought I was going to love this. And being so fresh out of a book slump, I think this is going to put me back in a book slump. Not a book hangover, an actual book slump. And we discussed the difference. This will put me in a book slump. So, the challenge is over. The time period is up. Friday night, we're done. And I'm not going to continue. 140 pages is, I think, all I'm going to do. I'm going to allow myself to say it's okay. Life is too short to do things or read things that you're not enjoying. So, let's go ahead and just say, I'm sure there's some people that love it, but this is just not for me. So I think this is going to go into my DNF pile. So let's go ahead and just go over the totals and the books I ended up reading. So I am going to read off, where is it? Right here. I'm going to read off on last Friday I started this challenge and I read 98 pages. Saturday, I read 82 pages. Sunday, I read 82 pages. Monday, I read 145 pages. Tuesday, I was an overachiever and I read 220 pages. Wednesday, I read 197 pages. Intentionally, I chose not to read the last 3 because it would have put me in the middle of a chapter.
So for me, 2 out of the 7 days were a win to me. Anyways, Thursday I read 57 pages, and then today I read 141 pages. I'm going to go ahead and add those up, and I'm going to put the total right here for how many pages I read. So I didn't hit the 200 pages a day, but like I've said, that was not the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal was to get me out of my slump. And I feel like I'm out of it. I'm excited to read, so that's okay. So let's go over the books that I read this week. First off, I finished A Court of Silver Flames. I already said it, 5 stars. Can't recommend highly enough. This entire series is amazing. If you have been putting off reading ACOTAR, or like just like me, you were like intimidated by ACOTAR, it's a serious time investment. It has such a cult following. I get it. Me too. Girl, I was there, okay? However, do it. Grab ACOTAR by the horns. Go for it. Because if you can make it through ACOTAR, which is not the best book in the series, I still loved it. I gave it 4 stars. It was a perfectly fine book for me, but I will admit, I got through the first book and I was just kind of like, that's what everyone was kind of hyping up. Like, to me, it didn't match the hype, but now that I've gone through the entire series, I've read 2, 3, 4, and now 5, I get it. It is so good. It is so worth it. It's a 5-star series. This is a series I could see myself rereading, and I do not reread books. So, 5 stars. Amazing. I can't talk about the plot too much because it'll give away stuff that I don't want to give away for you, because you deserve to experience ACOTAR. So, 5 stars. Get ACOTAR. Read it. Read all the way through. Make it to A Court of Silver Flames. Nesta is that you-know-what. I just love her. Okay, anyways. Then I went to Travis Baldry's Legends and Lattes. Adorable. Adorable. I forget what I gave it on Goodreads. I'm going to put my Goodreads in the description down below so you can friend me. I forget what I rated this. I think I gave it a 3.75 stars. Let's see. I gave it a 3. But I gave it a 3.5, and then it drives me nuts because Goodreads doesn't allow you to do half stars. So I gave it a 3.5, but I rounded it down to 3 points on Goodreads, or 3 stars on Goodreads. This was adorable. It was great. 2.5 is average, so this is above average. Exactly what I needed it to do when I needed to do it. This is about an orc named Viv who spent her life in battle and decided that she was tired. She did not want to do it anymore. So she took some of the things she had collected from her time in battle, and she opens a coffee shop in the city of Thune, which has never heard of coffee before. It's adorable. It's sweet. It's low stakes fantasy. It's cute. It's easy to read. It's easy to enjoy. So if you're looking for something that you could settle down in a chair, grab a blanket, grab a coffee, grab a soda, and sit and just enjoy. Not too much brain power, just a cute little story that you're going to really like the characters. Pick it up. It's cute. And then I moved on to Miss Community Board. We're not going to say too much about her. She's a DNF. Realistically, I would probably give her 1.5 to, well, 2.5 is average. I'd probably give her like 1.25 stars. I could finish this book. I could sit down and muscle through it. I'm not going to, but I could. It's a little slow, it's a little rambly, but it's all right. It's about a woman named Darcy whose husband leaves her for another woman, and she picks up her stuff and she goes home to the town of Murbridge, Massachusetts, to go stay with her parents. She gets there, she finds out her parents aren't there, so she decides to just stay in their house while she's grieving the loss of her husband. It's absolutely an exploration of depression, which it's not in a sad way, in like a cynical way where you're more like concerned about her. It's not a sad book. However, it's just not for me. It's not my preferred type of reading. It's not my preferred style. It touches on some stuff that is not something that I subscribe to and want to read about. So if you do like that kind of rambling exploration of grief and emotion and depression, it might be for you. That's the greatest thing about reading. Everyone has different styles. It's not for me. So I'm going to go ahead and bless and release, let it go,
and move on. And that is going to be all for this video tonight, guys. Thank you so much for sticking around. Thank you so much for watching with me. I think we've accomplished my goal. I'm feeling excited about reading. I'm ready to go into the next video and into the next book. So thanks so much for sticking around. Like and subscribe. Comment below what your favorite book is to get you out of a slump. And I'll catch you on the next one.